This is March 20, 20th today? March 20?
20th, 21st, yeah.
Something like that.
If I get my watch to work here, I'll tell you what. Yeah, 22nd was 21st. Yeah,
March
this is the
21st.
third.
Yeah.
March the 21st, yeah.
Well, we're back again talking about the old days. You said something about those Swedes. Could you tell me again how those Swedes used to make those sleds out of poplar?
Yeah, well, in the early days in Saskatchewan, well, when they went up north, you see, there was quite a migration from about 1928, 29 to 30, in the Hungry 30s,
I know where they came
out
from.
of the Dust Bowl, what they call the Dust Bowl, in the northern Saskatchewan,
Yeah.
and they formed settlements up there and one thing or another. They didn't have anything and couldn't take anything with them. Like if you took a Bennett buggy loaded with stuff
Mm-hmm.
or a wagon loaded with stuff and towed a cow along behind, you were, you know what I mean.
You were pretty well off, huh?
You were pretty well off. Yeah, I mean.
A Bennett buggy was a Model A with the motor out.
Well, a Model A, 490 Chev, depends on what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
more
just,
Model Ts than anything else. Yeah.
and they just took them out with. They took the horses and hitched them up to the front.
Hitched them on the front. Yeah.
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 No gas. They didn't have any gas to run there.
And never mind. Never mind the gas. Didn't have any money to buy the gas with. That's
Yeah,
that's a bad
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people went up there. These quite a few of the Swedes went right into the country there and built themselves whole sleighs right out of the bush. Chopped them right out of the bush. No sawmill, no nothing.
Yeah. They were marvelous axemen.
Oh yeah, yeah, good with that.
Yeah, yeah.
And good to figure things out. They just the way they did it in the old country.
Sure. And the country was very similar too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The trees and everything.
yeah.
The materials they were working with.
Yeah, the difference between Canada and Sweden, they say, is that if a Swede has trouble getting the stuff to the sawmill over there, he loads it on his back and carries it in.
Yeah.
That's the way they do it over there. But they made good, strong sleighs. They hauled up to 100 bushel of wheat on them in Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan. There,
What would a bushel of wheat weigh? It must
60
weigh
pounds. Yeah,
100.
yeah. That's 6,000 pounds. Yeah, 6,000 pounds. Yeah. Four
On
horses.
9-foot runners, you said?
9-foot runners. Yeah, four horses on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, load like that. Yeah. They haul up to about 60, 65 bushels with a team of horses
Uh-huh.
and
As usual. Usual load was 65 bushels.
about 60, 65 bushels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And they made it all out of wood except for barrel staves for the runners.
Well, they bought good steel for the shoeing underneath, good sleighing shoeing, and if they didn't have a drill on the farm, or usually someplace around somebody had a blacksmith shop with a post drill in
Twist
it.
drill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Or they'd brace and bit them through if they had to. You know what I mean? Start with a small hole, make it bigger.
Yeah. Keep
Oh,
going.
yeah.
Did they ever burn the hole?
Didn't have no, it didn't burn no holes.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's the beauty of that? If you burn a hole through with a hot rod, it makes a hole harder. It doesn't wear
Yeah.
as quickly, you know.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Take a Saddleline torch. We hadn't even heard of a Saddleline.
No, no. I
Back
mean,
in
you
them
take
days.
a iron rod and you put it in the fire
Oh yeah.
and then burn it through.
Oh,
when it's red
oh,
hot.
in the wood. You're talking
Yeah.
about in the wood.
Sure. Yeah,
Oh,
you burn
yeah.
the hole through the wood
Yeah.
with
yeah.
a metal rod, and it leaves the hole harder in the wood. You know,
Yeah.
kind of tempers the wood when it's hot.
That wouldn't suit these guys. They're too precision on it. They
Is that
had to
right?
have a tight fit and hold it all
Everything
the way.
had to be just right, huh?
You better believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything had to be just right. A half-inch bolt through a half-inch hole, and drive it through there tight.
They had to drive it through.
Yeah. Drive it through tight. Yeah.
Oh, I bet those things were
Better
sturdy.
believe it. Yeah.
They were sturdy.
Everything was precision with them guys.
Yeah.
Then they built sawmills out of the bush too.
They did.
Built a sawmill in the bush. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't just buy the bearings or something.
No, well, they bought a saw mandrel and bearings
Mm-hmm.
and a pulley on it.
That was it. And that's what they
That's
started with.
about it. Yeah.
And then got a motor off a Bennett buggy, huh?
Well, the one I seen, they were driving it with a John Deere tractor.
Mm.
which you could use for any kind of
Power
of a
takeoff.
power that you wanted to.
Yeah.
But they made a long string of rollers. And for bearings on the rollers, they just drove a piece of bolt in the ends of it, about ½ inch they were, or maybe 5/8.
Mm-hmm.
And then for bearings on that, they took old starters and took them apart,
Mm-hmm.
and then took the winding out, and the winding is about ½ inch wide.
Mm-hmm.
And they bent that around in notches and used the copper for bearings. They set these rollers up
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
without any end play in them,
Yeah.
and then they cut 2-inch grooves in them. Now the rollers weren't that round,
Yeah.
but the grooves were. They turned them
On a lathe.
on on a lathe,
Yeah.
and the grooves were true, and they were exactly 2 inches wide. And then they built just a stone boat up there, it was, with 1x2s nailed on the bottom of it. And the 1x2s ran down the grooves in the roller, and this was their guide. This was their guide.
Clever, huh?
Yeah. And the saw went right down the middle of the carriage.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The carriage is 20 feet long.
And they roll a log one side to the other.
They rolled a log on there and had what they use for making ties for dogs.
Yeah.
Just a piece of iron bent on each end and drive one end into the carriage and the other end
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
log.
Yeah, yeah. They call
Just
them
held
dogs.
it up there.
They were just dogs, right? They called
Yeah,
them
that
dogs.
was dog. That was a dog. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
They
what
set
they
this
are,
up,
yeah,
just
yeah.
sight down it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you cut a slab off, bring your carriage back, push it through by hand.
Mm-hmm.
Bring the carriage back, flop the log down, and dog it on the other side. Now the log's on the other side of the saw, you see.
Mm-hmm.
There's a saw groove right down the middle of the carriage.
Mhm.
Yeah. Take a slab off on the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
They square that up,
Yeah.
and then saw lumber off. And how they made it 1-inch thick, they had a slide. And you just shove your squared timber up against this slide and dog it,
And run it through again.
and push it through.
Yeah.
And it just slid off the slide through the saw. It made perfect lumber. And the most perfect ties I've ever seen were sawed on that mill right there. And they were selling ties then for $1 a piece. And deuces were 80 cents. That's
What's
number
a
2
deuce?
ties.
Oh, deuces.
Number 2 ties.
What would that have? A few knots in it?
No, smaller ties. Number 2 tie is 6x8, and number 1 tie is 7x9.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Gee.
So we get that straightened out pretty fast. Yeah. But
Well,
they
that was
sawed
pretty good money, wasn't it? $1 a tie?
pretty fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How many guys would be working for?
Well,
on
two
two.
guys. Two
And
guys.
they'd work an 8-hour, 10-hour shift, I suppose, whatever.
Yeah, or whatever you felt like, you know, work all the daylight there was, if you feel like it.
And they
you know.
could turn one of those out every what?
A tie?
Yeah.
Well, the first place you got to find the timber.
Yeah, right. That's another factor, right?
The next thing you had to get it on the ground and trim it up with an
Yeah,
axe and
yeah, yeah.
bucket into logs. This was done with a cross gut, and then they had to be skidded with horses
Yeah, yeah,
and loaded onto a sleigh and hauled out of the bush.
yeah, right.
Either that or skidded to the mill, one or the other. Yeah.
So that the smallest part was cutting them up.
So the small part, yeah, well, it's the same thing in any sawmill.
Yeah, right.
You take a sawmill today,
Yeah.
the most inexpensive part of it is the actual sawing itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I said years ago, you can't land logs in the mill yard that cost $40 a thousand and
so,
throw half of it away into the burner when it only costs $8 a thousand to turn it into lumber in the sawmill.
Yeah.
And that's what back when I was sawing, that's what it cost. And that isn't that far back, 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get invited to one of those Swedish smorgasbords?
Smorgasbords?
Yeah.
No.
One of those big feasts they had?
No, never seen one of them.
You didn't? Oh,
No.
gee. Did you ever get invited for supper to a Swede's house?
No, but I've ate lutefisk and lofsa.
You're a braver man than me, Charlie. I like the lefse, but that lutefisk, you could have that.
Lutefisk, good stuff.
Oh.
Nothing wrong with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I'm of Norwegian extract.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, my name is Norwegian.
Yeah.
But I can't hack that lutefisk. I used to watch my grandma making it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Dried cod and lye.
Yeah.
and it'd sit there and molder for days,
yeah.
percolating away, you know. Don't know how they
Yeah.
could eat it. But left
Beautiful.
side can eat that by the time.
You can, eh? Yeah.
Good stuff, yeah.
Lutefisk is made a lot the same way as they make hominy.
Yeah, right.
Well, I made hominy right here in this house right here.
You have made hominy.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the corn and got the lye.
Yeah.
I can still make a hominy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you just take and put a pot on the stove there. It has to be a granite pot. You can't.
yeah, it'll eat the other ones up.
Yeah, even I think I wouldn't be even hesitate to put it in stainless steel.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the water on the stove and get it hot. Then you put the dry corn in there. You don't soak it or anything ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're after is get the hull off the outside of the corn.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all there is to
Yeah.
it.
You have to scrub it a little bit to get the hull off.
You burn the, well, yeah, it comes off. If you do it just right, you get most of it off like a glue.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, they used to take it off down in the States there, and it came off, and you had to scrub it in cold water with
A brush.
yeah, you should have rubber gloves on. A lot of them didn't run enough water through to dilute the light, or it didn't hurt your
Their
hand.
hands got real red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them
You like
got-
hominy, huh?
Hey?
You like hominy.
I like hominy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've had it.
You just take it and put it in the radar there and
Yeah.
warm it up, throw a little
Mm-hmm.
margarine on it or butter.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need, a little salt. And it's a rich, corny taste, real chewy stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's
yeah.
good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The darkies figured out how to make this down in the States years ago when about all they had to eat was old horses, worn out horses. They'd fatten them up and butcher them.
Mm-hmm.
And corn.
Mm-hmm.
So they boiled corn,
And
boiled
black-eyed
corn.
peas.
Huh?
And black-eyed peas.
I don't know anything about the black-eyed peas, but
Yeah.
I know they made the hominy anyway.
Yeah.
They invented the hominy, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
They
slaves.
probably had something like that in Africa they used too, I'll bet you.
It's hard to tell.
They get the lye from ashes if they wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, years and years ago, when my grandmother was a young woman, they made all their soap
Mm-hmm.
with lye ashes.
Did you ever wash
Ashes
your
make you
hands
lye.
with that soap?
Ever what?
Did you ever wash your hands with that old lye
No,
soap?
no, I never did.
I did by
Homemade
mistake.
soap. I've washed my hands with homemade soap.
But
made
that
with lye.
yeah. That lye soap not only takes the dirt off.
Take some of the hide off. too.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah. I can remember how smooth my hands and fingers felt
Yeah.
after I washed. And my grandma came over. She said, "You're not supposed to use that for hands." She said,
Yeah.
"That's for washing
Yeah.
clothes."
Yeah.
The clothes had to be tough, boy, in those days to withstand that soap.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the women didn't worry too much about these pan hands in them days.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Back in the days when they lived off the land, eh?
yeah.
And
Guess what we had the other night? We had a meal of wild game. It's Les and Nora Fripp's grandson's first, well, their great-grandson's first birthday. We went to
yeah.
a birthday party, and we had grouse, duck, goose, and a fourth kind of meat, which they didn't tell us about till we were all done.
cougar, I'll bet you.
Lynx.
Link.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was delicious.
Sure.
Of the four meats, I think I like the goose best, but that lynx was right alongside.
Pretty hard to tell the link from chicken.
Oh yeah, you couldn't. Except the pieces were bigger.
Pieces are bigger, different shapes.
Yeah,
no,
right. Sort of in circles.
Yeah.
Sort of arranged in circles.
Yeah,
Off the
well-
legs, you know.
Well, that's the muscles.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, link meat's good. Pretty near white.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
looks like breast meat of a chicken.
Well, a link doesn't do anything very hard and very
Yeah.
strenuous.
Yeah.
He just sort of paddles around the bush and
I saw some of their tracks the other day. Link
Yeah.
tracks. Great big things. It looks like a guy's been walking, you know, with it pounding his fists in there.
Yeah, he packs. He's got built-on snowshoes on his
Right.
feet.
Yeah. Big
That's
round.
what they're there for. Yeah, you
Yeah.
walk on top of the snow. Yeah, nature give him snowshoes,
Just like the rabbit.
like some of these here muskox up north. You know what I mean? They sleep in the snow, so they pack their own mattress along, rode right on their belly.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hardly see their feet
Yeah,
for their
long
their
hair.
Yeah.
yeah.
When you were a kid, did you ever use a piece of red cloth to catch a fish? Or a piece of cloth or anything?
No, I didn't. I lived out on the bald-headed prairie in Saskatchewan when I was a kid, and wasn't much chance to fish any place. We didn't have time to go fish. Didn't even own a fish hook, let alone a line or anything. You know.
One time we
But,
were out, and you know those beer can openers?
Oh yeah.
One end has a deal for pop cans,
Yeah.
pop lids, you know, for the tops, the pop caps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other is pointed so it pierces the beer can, you know, it's got
Oh
a
yeah.
triangle.
Yeah.
I tied a hook on one of those one time, and I threw it out and I caught a jackfish.
Yeah.
Sure. It comes
Anything
through the
that's
water.
shiny.
It came through the water real nice.
Sure.
Looked like
Anything that's
little
shiny. Yeah.
spoon.
Dives around a bit.
Yeah, died.
Yeah. Or a jackfish bite it or anything. So a pickerel.
One time I was sitting there up in this country, and I'd forgotten to wind my line all the way in and hook it in the guide. I left it dangling like this, you know, and it was just off the water about a foot, and it flitting away in the air, you know, kind of twisting on the line, and my rod was in the canoe, and we went up on the shore to load our packs. It was on a portage, you know, portage, and we were going over to another lake. And I heard this terrible clatter and bang in my aluminum canoe. And I looked down there and my rod was bent over double. And there was a jackfish. He'd leaped up out of the water to grab that thing that was hanging there
Oh yeah.
alongside the canoe.
In the air.
Yeah, he'd taken it out of the air.
Yeah.
What a deal.
No, they're what in the Muscalonge family.
Yeah, they're afraid of nothing.
They're not afraid of anything.
They are not afraid of
They
anything.
catch a lot of young ducks and they eat young muskrats and they eat a lot of stuff. Yeah. Big old jackfish eats is swallow a half-grown duck.
Sure, sure.
You know,
You watch the ducks in that country.
got a mouth 4 inches across. Take a jackfish that weighs 20-25 pounds, and you're looking at quite a mouth.
Mhm,
It's about 4 or 5 inches across. So, oh,
mhm.
better believe it.
You watch those mother ducks when they're raising their young too.
They keep them off
They keep them on the shore.
in the bulrushes.
You betcha. They don't let them
Yeah.
go right across a bay anywhere or
No.
anything like that.
And then, of course, the jackfish live in the bottom of the rushes too, in where they're not too thick, you know. Yeah.
Did you ever catch any big jackfish when you were up north?
I caught one, weighed 12 pounds.
Yeah.
Another one weighed 9 pounds. The first fish I caught in northern Saskatchewan weighed about 9 pounds. Yeah, we figured. But I went along the shore on Eagle Lake, south of Melfort, in Saskatchewan, and I caught a sun perch.
Yeah.
The guy told me, he said, that's just bait. He said, you
Yeah.
don't take that home and eat it. It weighed about a pound, maybe
Mhm.
3/4 of a pound.
Mhm.
Take it out in the middle of the lake there, and he said, I think he was kidding me, really, you know.
Yeah.
Put a big hook through its tail, he said, and turn it loose under the ice. So
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
I had a nice spud. It didn't take me long to go through
Yeah.
30 inches of ice. And the fish swam around down in there for a bit, you know, and pretty soon jackfish nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hole was 5 inches across,
Oh, gee.
and I had quite a time getting the fish. I headed up the hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it did.
Yeah.
And it scared me when his head come out of the water,
With those big
You know?
teeth.
and he opened up his mouth and spread his gills out, you know. Then it gave a flop and came right out on top of the ice, and it was about 2.5, 3 feet long. 3 feet long.
Mhm.
And it was just had swallowed the sun perch completely clear down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you have a wire leader on there, or just
No.
tied right on the line?
No, it had tied right on. Cutty hunk line.
That heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Good strong
60-pound test, cutty hunk.
line. That, take them a while to chew through that. That was tough old line, yeah?
Yeah, well, he didn't get too fussy back in then. We didn't even know what a 2-pound leader was.
Yeah.
Monofilament wasn't even heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Never wasn't even heard of. When you bought a fish line back in them days, you bought a little hank of string rolled up in a little hank of yarn.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah,
It was, and the last part was wound around tight.
right around the middle of it. Yeah.
Right around the middle, then
Yeah.
and a stretch, and then there were loose loops on the ends.
First thing you had to do was get this untangled. So you got about 10 feet of that untangled and tied it onto a. If you could find a willow 8 foot long in Saskatchewan, well, you tied it onto there,
Mm-hmm.
and
Then you're hooked directly on the line.
no, you didn't do that. You split that up with the rest of your brothers and sisters if you were going to fish.
Oh, the whole hunk.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
10 feet's all you need to fish with.
Yeah, and you got about 50 in a row.
Yeah. I think 50 feet in a row. You get at least 4 or 5 lines out of the one
Yeah.
out of the one fish
Yeah.
line. Oh, you better believe it.
What would a hook cost in those days? Could you get a
Oh,
hook?
I don't know. Buy
A handful of them for a dime, huh?
5 cents a dozen.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. You
Wouldn't
went
go
fishing
away.
with your brothers and sisters a bit then.
We went fishing a bit down on the White Mud River, and went down there gooseberry picking, and then go fishing for a bit.
Trout?
No trout, no
Just
carp,
Carp.
a few catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you eat the carp?
Well, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Some
Sure.
people don't think much of carp, but
Or suckers. They're scared of a sucker.
yeah, suckers. Yeah.
What's the matter with a sucker? Take and scrape the scales off of it, clean it,
Yeah. Yeah.
wash it, put a little salt on it,
Yeah.
cut it up in pieces, and put it in jars, and
With some vinegar.
put a spoonful of vinegar in each jar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh? Let it set for 2 weeks.
Pickled.
No, this tastes is exactly pretty close to salmon.
Some people never liked them where I grew up because of the bones. They said there's so many bones.
Well, they're afraid of the bones, yeah.
But that vinegar will dissolve the small bones, won't it?
They're like back in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
People won't eat a mariah. What's it called, a mariah fish? They throw them all away. Give them to the coyotes, or you sell them for dog food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
they
a
won't
mar-
eat a mariah. Well, a mariah is a ling, and a ling
Oh,
fish is a
yeah,
codfish.
Yeah, right.
And in Nova Scotia and down to that
Yeah.
kind of there, well, they
you
sell.
pay a good
Huh?
price for it.
Well, sure. They make their living catching codfish on the west coast here.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, the fish catch codfish. Don't throw no codfish away.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. People's ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're funny about things, all right. But I was on the Columbia and I was shooting carp with my bow and arrow. That is fun. Now the carp is that old European thing with the great big scales on the side. Looks like
Yeah.
a giant goldfish. And I was shooting these carp with my bow, my hunting bow. And I got quite a number of them, and I had them laying on a beach. Then this lady came along. She said, "What are you going to do with your fish?" I said, "Well, I'm just trying to clean them out of here because I don't like them in here," which was a hopeless task. There were thousands of them, you know, and
Yeah.
there I am. I got my dozen carp laying on a bank. I didn't even put a dent in their population. But I'm trying to clean them out, see?
Yeah.
So I'm shooting these things, and they fight like the devil. Now, these were big ones. These carp were about that deep and up to about that long.
Holy moly.
30 and 40 pounders. Some of them.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the biggest we got was 45 pounds of
Yeah.
weight.
Where was this at?
That's, you know where Colville is? Colville, Washington? You know where the Kettle River
Yeah.
joins the Columbia down there at Kettle Falls?
Oh, yeah.
You know where that is? Okay. Colville River is downstream from there about 10 miles, 15
Oh, yeah.
miles. It comes in there, and that's where I was shooting.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, I said, "You want those fish?" She says, "Sure do. We feed them to the chickens," she said. And later on, I found out they were smoking them and eating them themselves. You know.
They were, eh?
Yeah, they weren't giving them to the chickens. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you feed fish to a chicken, I guess the eggs are horrible.
Yeah. The eggs will
You-
taste fishy. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't eat the eggs.
Yeah, just like feeding a cow French wheat.
Yeah.
Taint the milk, you know.
There's something around here every spring. We get milk from this one farmer. Every spring the milk changes.
Yeah, well, of course, we had that in Saskatchewan, you know. Yeah, you have to bring the cows in and let them stand in the corral so long, and then milk them
When they've been feeding on that.
when
other
they've been feeding on this stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, if you milk
Yeah.
right away, it's
you can't milk them right away. No.
yeah.
No. I forget just exactly what they did there.
We call it what? What kind of weed?
Stinkweed.
Stinkweed.
Yeah, French weed. Is
Oh, oh,
it came from France into Canada.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah, just about gone obsolete in Saskatchewan now. French weed used to be a bad weed,
mm-hmm.
and so since they started spraying for it, you see what I mean? Well,
They got rid of most
they
of it.
killed the whole works.
Boy.
Russian thistles was the same way.
You talk about Is it knapweed around here? Oh man, that knapweed is really something here.
In the lakes.
No, now that's milfoil.
Oh, milfoil in the lakes now.
But on the land around here, this knapweed is, the one that gets in your socks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Gets in the animals' hair and in their mouths
Yeah.
and gets,
The worst wheat that grows here in British Columbia that I know of is the perennial morning glories. And the only thing that I've ever found that'll kill that is this here new poison they got out is Roundup. And Roundup costs you $38.50 for a liter.
Oh.
So you don't go around spraying your neighbor's morning
Yeah.
glories with it. Tell him to
Yeah.
go and buy some
Yeah.
himself.
Will anything eat morning glories?
Eh?
Will anything eat morning glories?
Well, it's good cow feed.
Is it?
Yeah, but then it doesn't grow lush enough to make good.
It's just here and there and everywhere.
Well, it's you take when it's growing in the wild, it grows along just in the grass, usually on the ground. You know, and I mean, you can go up on the Merritt Highway here, 5-6 miles out of town. If you notice along the sides of the roads, there's acres of the stuff growing there. You go up my back alley right here, cross the street, the one block, and the whole alley is solid morning glories up there. But they don't come, none of it come onto my place because I bought myself a liter of Roundup. I'll fix it right here, I'll tell you that.
That's a good name for a weed killer, Roundup.
Roundup, yeah, it sounds a little
fits,
stupid, doesn't it? But
It fits.
yeah.
You're gonna get them all. Roundup.
Well, I don't know. What the Roundup does, it doesn't kill the plant at all. It kills the roots, and then the plant dies. That's how it works. And
Well,
it'll
that's
literally kill anything that you put it on, I'll guarantee you that. I don't know whether it would kill a tree or not, but
How about your vegetables?
oh boy, you walk knock them right out, you better believe it. Yeah, yeah. Corn, anything. Squash, grass, anything. That it just kill anything you put it on. Yeah. Yeah, and I sprayed some quackgrass in around the roots on one raspberry plant. I thought I'd try it out there, and
That was it.
wipe the raspberry right out. You can't put it on the green bark.
Yeah.
But you can spray around the bottom of a tree and kill the grass around the bottom of a tree. It doesn't hurt the tree any.
The roots are probably far enough out.
Oh, it's heavy. Bark is heavy enough that the stuff doesn't get through.
Yeah.
But you take green bark on a plant, even on a small tree. The green, soft bark it's still taking in. It'll still take in food, same as a leaf. You see what I mean? Quite a lot the same as a leaf. It will absorb stuff.
Are you gonna have a good garden this year?
I don't know. I got to plant something out there.
Yeah. They got a sale on seeds over at McLeod's if you want to go over and get some. 5
Oh, yeah.
packages for $1. That you can hardly beat.
Probably last year's seeds, eh?
I don't know. There's nothing on them. I bought some.
Yeah.
There's nothing indicating what year's seeds they were. Probably last. Because seeds are up to about 89 cents a package now here. Some stores.
80 or 90 cents.
89 cents a package.
Well, I wasn't too far off of that last year.
Yeah.
Well, I might go over and buy some radish seed.
You like a good bunch of fresh radishes, the salad, huh?
I like radishes, and I plant potatoes and cabbage, cauliflower. And I wish somebody'd tell me how to get rid of the bug life in the soil. That's what's licking me. I've got ants in the soil here that eat the holes in my potatoes, and they chew up my strawberry plants, getting the roots and eat them right up.
These ants.
Kill the strawberry plants, and
You know what you need,
then I
don't
got a
you?
kind of another maggot thing that got into the cauliflower last year and killed a lot of cauliflower plants on me.
Gee. You know what
they
you
say
need?
sulfur will kill them, chase
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah. You know what you need though?
What?
A pet anteater.
Yeah. Well, you can. Pretty hard for an anteater to get in there and get them.
He's got to find the home. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to find the nest of those ants.
I got some stuff here, ant killer. That's good stuff, you know.
Those little ant farms.
No, this is a liquid in a bottle.
Oh yeah.
You put a few drops of it out, and the ants eat this stuff and pack it away and feed the larva on it and feed the queen ant on it,
Yeah, and that
and then
does
it kills the whole bloody works. I got rid of them right off my own cupboard here. Yeah.
Huh. Now don't get this mixed up with that stuff. What's the name of that stuff?
Taheebo, yeah.
Taheebo. Don't get this mixed up, Charlie.
Taheebo.
Yeah.
It's good for a lot of things, especially cancer. A proven fact that it's good for anybody that has cancer or has had cancer. Worth looking into. And that stuff there, that ant killer there, if you've got ants around it, put a few drops of that and you see a row of ants right around the bottom of the drop, and just in a few minutes it's gone. In fact, the whole works away. I've seen up to 12 ants around one drop of ant killer sitting on the back of my cupboard.
And then the other ones pack the ants away?
No, they packed that. No, the ants don't die there.
Oh.
It takes a week for the ants to die.
Oh, I see.
It's a slow process, this thing here.
Huh.
They pack it off and feed it to the young ants and the queen ant and the whole works of them before then the whole works dies eventually.
Ants take it to their nest to feed to the larvae and the queens.
Yeah.
Thus, the whole colony is destroyed up to 7 days by the slow-acting ant. You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
With that, there were trouble. There were some missionaries. My folks are Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah.
They have missionaries in Africa, and the ants just about eating them up over there.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent a case of this stuff over to Africa for the poison ants over there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how they make out, but I imagine they'll have a few colonies dead by now.
When did they send it away?
Last year.
Yeah.
I just got this stuff.
Yeah.
Here. Harry Jack, my neighbor here,
He recommended it, huh?
he brought it over, yeah.
I'll put it away for you, so you don't get it mixed up with your other gear.
Put it in the window there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wonder if I'm ever going to get up to that Indian tribe up there with Charlie Huntley.
Charlie Huntley. Oh,
Yeah, he was going to take me up there, but he called me up and he says he couldn't go.
couldn't go. I got his phone number, but he's got an unlisted number, and I'm not supposed to give it to you.
Okay, well, I know where he lives. I'll just
I
go
know
there
where he
some
lives.
evening,
Yeah, go down and have a look at.
Yeah.
Go down to the achievement center there and walk in the back there and ask
To the wood shop.
Yeah, ask
Yeah.
him if Huntley. You can go in along the wall on the outside and go in the outside door.
Yeah, on the back alley.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything in your shop these days? Patching any clubs? Or?
In my shop,
Yeah.
I put a shaft in a golf club,
Yeah,
number
yeah.
a 3 iron,
Yeah.
a day before yesterday for a guy.
Yeah.
So that's number 1 this year, you see,
Yeah, yeah.
fixed.
Pretty soon you'll be out golfing yourself, too.
Oh yeah, I've been out.
Yeah.
I played 5 rounds of golf in Vancouver for what I was convalescing out there, and then played around here the other day, 6 holes.
Mm-hmm.
Out here, they got the flags up.
Are the Ravens out there yet?
No Ravens, no. I'm going to start. If the Ravens were out down there, I'd be packing my shotgun.
You'll have one extra iron.
Yeah,
A
one
shooting
extra
iron.
A shooting iron, yeah.
Did you ever see them do that? I heard they did that.
Pack the balls off.
Yeah.
I lost 3 balls in 1 round in Revelstoke. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had. The Ravens even argued about who had what territory up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's cute. What do
Yeah.
they do? Think they're eggs or something?
Yeah.
They think they're eggs and they could eat.
They pick a ball up and wham it on the ground trying to break it. Then they'll pick it up and take
bounces.
off with it. You see?
And it bounces. They thunk
yeah.
it on the ground and it bounces.
I
That
don't
must
know.
puzzle them.
Up in Revelstoke there, they flew straight off across the river with them. So they're sure gone.
You didn't use too good a ball there then.
Well, you got onto that after you lost a couple, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's cute.
Yeah, those sneakers, they sure.
I was hunting one time, reminds me of that. I was hunting one time, and I shot this pheasant. It was zinging by real quick. And we didn't have a dog, see. The other guy that was chasing the pheasants had a dog. So both me and the dog took after that bird in a foot race to see who was going to get the bird first. And I just beat it by a hair and picked up my bird, you know. I'd shot it, but he was going to get it for his master. He figured his master had shot it. That dog sure looked at me. He was mad, boy. He wanted
Yeah,
that
yeah.
bird, yeah. He figured his master had shot it.
Well, you can catch a pheasant running in the grass or in the brush. Well, you're going pretty good yourself.
This one was flying.
flying, eh?
Yeah, I dropped him dead. Cold.
Oh, he was dead, eh?
Yeah, I downed him with my shotgun. That dumb bird. I think that was the best shot I ever made, Charlie. Yeah, you know how they get up and they get whistling, boy.
Yeah.
They aren't very fast at first, but once they get airborne and with a tailwind or something, they can really zing through the air. I bet you I led that thing 20 feet, and down he came. Good
Prairie chickens, they were pretty fast.
Yeah.
On the prairie, you know. Boy, I'm telling you, they must fly about 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, with a wind in their back.
75, 80 miles an hour.
Could you, when you were a kid, could you ever shoot with a bow and arrow? Did you ever try to?
Bow and arrow?
Yeah.
Nope, never shot with a bow and arrow.
You got a 22, right?
Slingshot, yeah, but not bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a.
Killed lots of stuff with slingshot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shoot rabbits along with a slingshot.
What, did you use pebbles or did you get pieces of iron or
No,
something?
use a rock.
Use a rock all the
Well,
time.
sure.
Yeah.
Black walnuts, hickory nuts
Would they?
down in Iowa.
Yeah. They would kill.
They're light. They're lighter though, you know.
They don't fly as good.
They don't go as far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I used to shoot stuff, you know. Make the odd kill on flying.
You would?
Oh,
With
yeah.
a slingshot?
Sure. Yeah.
Boy, that was good practice for shotgun hunting later on, huh?
Yeah,
You
well, if
learned
you
all
think you
about
got to
lead.
lead with a shotgun, you want to have to see how far you have to lead with a slingshot.
I couldn't believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, used to be pretty dead-eye dick with a slingshot.
Ever get your neighbor's windows?
No. Oh, no, I didn't go. Never was much of a guy for vandalism.
No, I mean accidentally.
Oh, accidentally, no. No, I'd be pretty careful that way. Yeah.
I got to tell you about a friend of mine named Mel Shower. He lived in Montana.
Oh,
He
yeah.
got interested in rockets. You know,
Yeah,
gunpowder in them.
yeah,
Made these rockets out of pipes and stuff.
yeah.
Light aluminum pipes. He put fins on them and everything. They were pretty good. So one day he made this rocket and it tilted just as it was going to go off. Kind of fell over or something. And it took off at an angle like this instead of going straight up.
Oh, yeah.
And it arched through the air and they could see this rocket going like mad, you know. They'll fly quite a ways. And it went over to the neighbor's farm and it lit right in the middle of the chicken house and blew up.
Oh,
Chickens were flying all over, half-naked chickens, you know. And they quit laying eggs for I don't know how long.
I guess so.
And killed a few, and he had to go over there and do work for the farmer to pay him back for his chickens.
Restitution, eh?
Restitution, yeah.
Yeah. It sure do it. I don't know what he used for powder. Did he make his own rocket
No,
fuel?
he used gunpowder.
Huh?
Used gunpowder, I guess.
Gunpowder. You'd
Yeah.
have to mix it with something. It's too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it burned too fast. And it's all burned up before he...
We used to make our own gunpowder. We used sugar, potassium,
Oh, yeah,
Chloride
you can
and
make
water.
a mixture of stuff.
potassium chlorate, and water. Sugar, and it came out to a kind of a cake.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you broke it up in chunks. Stuffed it in. Now, a friend of mine did this more than I did. I just saw the results. That was plenty potent, boy, that stuff. I read this recipe in Outdoor Life, too, on how to soup up a 22 so to shoot farther
Oh, yeah.
with less drop. That was to pull the bullets out of the 22, you know, and stuff this potassium chlorate, sugar, and water mixture in there. And it sort of made it like a Hornet, 22 Hornet,
Yeah.
given an extra 50 yards range or something like that.
You could blow the damn gun up pretty.
Sure could have, yeah. What a good gun, yeah.
You never thought of that, eh?
I never did it. The other fella did. One fella did it and he burned himself real bad. He was messing around with it and it went off.
There's a guy here in Princeton was beefing up shotgun shells, hand loading, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
seen as I took an armorer's course for the Army, there's a guy in the sports shop here asked me if I could fix this gun for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a cheap single barrel
Single shot, yeah.
single barrel shotgun, you know.
Yeah.
And I took a look at it and here the lock that holds the shot was sprung, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, tell the guy to buy a new lock for it, and buy a new pin that goes through it, And either that or I said, or throw it in the garbage. And I wouldn't even touch it.
And that's what he'd been doing, huh?
Huh?
He'd been using those beefed up
He's
shells.
been beefing the shells up, you
Yeah.
see what I mean? Yeah. Using rifle powder and shotgun shells, a few things like this. You know, you can't do it, you see.
No, they're slower burning. You know, I
Yeah.
reload my own ammunition. My
Yeah.
30-06 and my 12 gauge.
I never reloaded any myself.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law in Vancouver loads them up.
Yeah, you can do a lot of shooting then. You don't have to
Yeah.
worry about the cost so much.
Yeah. He loads 38 for target. You know, he uses revolver, lead cutting, or what is it? Paper cutting slugs or
Wad cutters.
wad cutters. Yeah.
Cuts a clean hole for target shooting.
Yeah. He puts in eight grains of powder.
That's all?
That's all. It just looks like a little speck of stuff.
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
But it
Does
is
it ever
potent.
make a bang?
Yeah, if you use that in a shotgun, why, you could be looking for your barrel.
There'd be more stuff coming back into your face than what went out the other way.
That's for sure. You gotta be really careful.
Yeah, you can blow your head off.
Shotgun isn't too bad. The powder is real slow. Shotgun powder.
Yeah.
But boy, if you're loading rifle and you're loading shotgun, you keep those powders apart. Separate
Well, we were,
rooms.
yeah. Don't get them mixed up. Yeah.
Separate rooms, yeah.
Yeah. During the war, I made cordite, you know, to handle, see explosives made and know something about it. Well, that's a place to learn there.
Where'd
We
you make-
put, in a batch of cordite, we put in 85 pounds and 5 ounces of gun cotton, 84 pounds and 4 ounces of nitroglycerin, 246 pounds of pickrite, which is another very high explosive, just as high as nitroglycerin.
Yeah.
Then there was 32 pounds of centralite, which is Epsom salts, 1 pound 5 ounces of cryolite, 11 ounces of chalk.
Yeah.
And the
What was the
cryolite and the
chalk
chalk were gun barrel lubricants.
Oh, yeah.
Put
You were
this in-
making powder for the artillery.
making, yeah. And then we made rifle cordite too.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Wasn't that stuff a little rough on barrels?
no,
Oh.
no. Cordite is, it didn't produce quite as much velocity as your smokeless powders do.
Yeah.
Rifle cordite, there's 42 strands of tubular cordite goes into a rifle shell. Yeah, and we made it right there. It's a different formula than what I told you there, though.
Yeah.
That's a,
Yeah.
I forget. I don't remember the formula for
Well,
that.
don't worry
But it's a different
What
formula.
what outfit were you with? What?
Defense Industries Limited
Oh,
during the war.
yeah. You were an armorer.
Well, no,
Basically an
it's just
armorer.
here's a plant that makes cordite, gunpowder.
Oh.
Covered a section and a half of land.
Down here in BC?
No, Winnipeg,
Oh.
Transcona.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they went out there and they bought a farm and a half, a section and a half of land and
Away from everybody else,
out
huh?
in the country. Yeah.
Yeah, so that if anything
Yeah.
happened. Were there ever any explosions there?
We well, there's a few. Yeah, one of the stoves went up
Mhm.
once there, blew.
Mm.
Yeah, that's about the biggest thing that happened. We never got anybody killed. It was run for 5 years, 6 years. Operated for 6 years.
Nobody was hurt, yeah.
Hey,
Nobody was killed. Some.
we didn't get anybody killed, but they got a guy killed building the thing, and they got another guy killed tearing it down. So there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But we didn't get anybody killed while we were operating.